Life as We Know It with Tom Walton.
A large framed photograph hangs on the wall in my foyer, just inside the front door. The photograph is of a stout young woman whose face is unwrinkled and unblemished by the insistent demands of time. She appears to be about 30, although she looks older because her hair and her garb reflect the long-ago era she lived in. Her hair is gathered atop her head in a tight bun that is encircled by a long braid. Her dress is a basic black muslin with a white lace collar drawn tightly around her neck. If forced to guess, I would estimate the photograph was taken around the turn of the 20th century, maybe 1900 or so, give or take. It's a black and white photo, of course, although a hint of tint on her cheeks makes it clear that at some point the picture was colorized. The picture hangs in a gilded, vertically oval frame that measures more than 2 feet high. It's the first thing visitors notice when entering my house, and invariably the first question is, "Who's that, your grandmother?" Here's the thing, I have no idea who it is. I wish I did. We purchased the photograph many years ago at a yard sale, as much for the frame as for the photo itself. The seller had no clue about the identity of the young woman. My wife wanted it anyway because she was fascinated by it, and she wondered about the woman's life story. We will never know, but we could speculate, and we often did. We both guessed that the woman was a teacher, since that was so often the profession of choice for young ladies entering the workforce in their late teens and early 20s 100 or more years ago. Not surprisingly, she wears no jewelry, at least that we can see in the photo, save for a small pearl earring on her right ear. It is difficult to look at her picture and not see what by our modern standards would be considered a frumpy-looking woman who was old before her time. But that is so unfair. I have spent a lot of time studying this old picture, and I acknowledge that I'm applying 21st century notions of beauty to a photograph that could have been taken all the way back in the 1890s or even sooner. So I have come to a remarkable turnaround. Looking at this person as any young man of her era would have done, I can see clearly that she's actually beautiful. There's no way to know if she had married by the time the picture was taken, but if not, I'll bet she eventually became a bride, a mother, and a grandmother. Though her face bears only the faintest hint of a smile, she appears happy and content. I'll bet further that having her picture taken in such a formal setting, most likely her first ever portrait, was a big deal in her life. The back of the frame is so fragile that I'm afraid to pry loose the deteriorating piece of tin to see if there are any clues inside to this woman's identity. I'd love to know her history, but at the same time I feel the need to respect the mystery. So I will not tamper with her secrets if there are any within. Instead, I will apply a little Brasso to brighten the picture frame and continue to let her rest in peace. Her head is turned in the photo slightly toward my front door. I like to think she's keeping an eye on the place, and I like that.
Life as We Know It is written and hosted by Tom Walton and is a production of WGTE Public Media. Life as We Know It with Tom Walton can be heard on WGTE FM 91 every Monday afternoon during All Things Considered at 5:44 p.m. Or hear past episodes at wgte.org/life.